All right, starting this week off at Beasley, Sean made a bunch of improvements here. First, he remeasured his standard jig at the chop saw, making sure it was perfect. It was a little bit off, so he made sure it was true. Quality is extremely important. Lean is about speed, but lean is more about quality, making sure that precision and accuracy is paramount. And so Sean doing that here. Sean, is that for cutting 6/8 casing legs? What is that jig set up for? I wasn't totally clear on that. Next, he went through and QC'd all of his headers, his pre-cut headers. They're all perfectly labeled like we've seen before, and just QC'd those, make sure everything was in the right spot. Next, still working on sawdust all over the place. Here at the trimmer, working on sawdust and experimenting with this MDF backer on the back of it to try to contain that dust. Just running the experiment here, but it looks like it's working. And finally, more putting the answer where the question is. So if anybody's over at the Looper trying to help label the different types of casing and what V-nail size they use, just so we eliminate defects, don't have to stop and grab somebody and ask the question. Awesome job, Sean. Way to go. Martha came in over the weekend and waxed the floors at Beasley. Sophia, thanks for giving her the shout out, because Martha, they look amazing. Thank you. Love this improvement from Michael and Beasley Logistics. One of the things that was happening, something that bugged Michael that occasionally caused a defect, was when you've got a journey set up. So it's one truck going out, got multiple stops. The credit note can get buried in there and you can't see it. And when you go print off all of the journey paperwork for that journey set, the credit note doesn't print off, just the sales order. And it's a function in BizTrack we got to get changed. But Michael stopped and fixed the problem, which is so awesome. That's what I want us to all do when we run into situations like this. Stop. How do we fix it? So making it more visual, pulling that credit note out of that journey set and putting it next to the ticket. I think making visual cues as much as we can all over the place to eliminate defects is just a wonderful idea. This is great, Michael. Way to go. Ryan and the warehouse team with an awesome improvement. The rails that go on the sides of the trim pallets to support the trim used to be stored on top of the pallet racking right up there, and you'd have to find somebody on a forklift to pull them down every time you needed them, and they got them down, put them right in their working area so they're easy to grab at the moment they need them. Great improvement, Ryan. In Windows receiving, Kevin giving us a little update on the experiment they were running. Kevin, I actually loved that you did this. I think this is really cool. Sometimes we come up with really good improvements and people might wonder, is that still the standard anymore? Is that the way we're doing it? So little update on keeping track of straps so that all the carts always have them. It's easy for shipping to return them when they have extras. And so we're never hunting for straps. And Kevin's been running the experiment and it is working. All the carts have straps. We've got extras on the wall in their standard location. Way to go, guys. This is awesome. For coordinators, something that can be hard to parse out sometimes is when you get a service request for windows or exterior doors. What do you do with it? Is it ours to own completely? Are there parts that need to be ordered? Is there more investigation that's needed? It just can be very complex. And so figuring out what action to take can be difficult. Vanessa and Jeffrey sat down and made a workflow that gives all those answers. Looks really, really great. Huge improvement. Thank you, Vanessa and Jeffrey. Really cool improvement from Ken. So when stuff comes back that might be a manufacturer warranty, something that a manufacturer's rep needs to come in and inspect as a potential warranty item, it created a dedicated spot for that. So nobody's hunting, because it's not something that happens constantly, but it does happen. And having a dedicated spot that those items can go, it makes it easy for the team to help the vendor when they're on site. It just simplifies it for everybody. Nobody's asking the question. It's got a dedicated spot. Love this improvement, Ken. Thanks. Some 3S magic going on up front at the sales counter at Beasley. First impressions are a huge deal, so keeping this area looking premium is awesome. Way to go. Juan has been on a tear making safety improvements at Beasley. Here he's blocking off pinch points, places that we don't want clothing or fingers, trying to keep everybody safe. This is huge improvements, Juan. Thank you. Great improvement here from Mr. Anderson. People in the industry call items different names. And so in this example, stair nosing versus landing tread, And if you don't know, and it's only in the system one way, and somebody comes in and asks for stair nosing, you can't find it. And so Austin Anderson noticed that and started utilizing the alternate keywords function inside of BizTrack. Definitely something that we should take all over Husky. Great improvement, Austin. Jumping to the truss plant, Davis added an additional PPE station at his supervisor station in the truss plant, just making it simpler for him to make sure his team has what they need. Great job, Davis. At one of the stations in panels, used to just throw our guns right there on the table, but then they were in the way of the mouse and keyboard, so made a little slot for them still at working level, but now no more wasted motion or transportation when using the computer. First, for those who don't know, that's Ishmael on the right. He has been a dependable, consistent team member for Husky for multiple decades. Running that component saw in the truss plant, you never have to worry about quality. He is all over it, cares about precision, just dependable, an amazing, amazing man. Love having him on the team. We added some mats here on the floor to improve his quality of life as he's standing on his feet all day at that saw, just making it a little easier on his feet. Thanks, Omar. This is the interior opening station at panels. If you can see on the left there, they marked the table. That's 16-inch and 24-inch spacing lines when they're building those openings for cripples. So you don't have to pull out your tape measure and measure. You got the answer right there. Guys, lean is the art of subtraction. This is a very slick improvement, guys. Way to go. Jonathan working on eliminating motion waste here. So this is the opening station at exterior, and the cripples are set on those carts and they're a little bit too low. Have to reach down and grab them every time. So he added a little bit of area at his station at working height to sort those cripples on the front end. Great job, Jonathan. Here's a before. So here's the board where we used to make announcements, important news, and you can see how important it was because it had become immortant news. And Stags got this TV put up for us last week. JC started experimenting with making announcements up there. Lean is fun, recognizing people's birthdays like Mr. Stags, and upcoming orders, all kinds of different things we can throw up there. Here we're showing production metrics for the tables and the saws. Also things like people's work anniversaries. Happy 2-year anniversary, Mr. Murdoch. Jump into shipping. What's shipping next? Keeping everybody in the loop of what's going on is really important. And then he threw improvement videos up there. Love that. Not everybody's on Signal still. And so making it easy for everybody to stay engaged and maybe fuel the fire for improvements. That's the idea here. You see something that applies to you and your role. And we did the same thing over here on panel side. So just doing our best to try to keep everybody in the loop as to what's going on. This is a great improvement, JC. Thanks for making it happen. Awesome improvement here from Mr. Scott Minette. Fix what bugs you, and so he deals with paperwork and labels, and you've got to staple those things, and he before had to reach over like this every time to staple. Well, let's move that and eliminate a bunch of motion waste. This is something that he has to do just over and over and over again in the days and weeks and months. Saves a bunch of time. Way to go, Scott. JC doing more experimenting with the TV. So we had that on-dawn light to signal the supervisor when there's a hot job or something that needs to be addressed immediately, but pushing that to the TV might be even easier to see. So running that experiment here. Great job, JC. Okay, stairs jumping in the mix with improvements, and I love it. Brian, thank you for this. This is the shim station at stairs where we're cutting shims. Used to just dump into this cardboard box and they'd fill up and make a mess or just break and create all kinds of hassle. Now it's got a dedicated box up at working height. They fix what bugs you, and these videos are just labeled and translated, just making us all look bad. Way to go, Brian. Another one from Stairs, creating a dedicated spot for all of their supplies needed to repair stair treads. Glue, filler, pencils, etc. Everything you need for that process instead of searching for it all over the place. It's got dedicated locations. It looks great. Way to go, guys. Our new sheathing saw that labels every piece and you don't have to manhandle every sheet of OSB is now in its spot. We originally set it up in the back just to make sure we got the bugs worked out first. Now it's right in its dedicated location. Still got the backup table saw right there, but everything is right in front of the exterior line so we get flow. This is a shameless plug for better labeling and our new labeling stations we've got all over Husky. This is the dunnage slab area. If you need to grab a dunnage door, it's organized by size. Typically, we just had the size there, but now it's called out as dunnage. So there's not a question. You make sure you're grabbing the right thing. Looks great, Dean. Thanks. And Nick showing us how the team at Beasley is just holding that 3S standard. Look how clean and organized everything is here. Everything in its spot, nothing out of place. Just looks beautiful. Way to go, guys. The entire team at Beasley is doing an amazing job. Okay, almost 10 minutes worth of improvements in 1 week for this week's recap. Unbelievable, guys. The amount of momentum going on in these improvements and just the genius that we're seeing out of everybody is so cool. It's making a huge difference in what we're able to get done and the quality that we're able to serve our customer with. You guys are doing an awesome job. Thank you.